Greetings, Gunslinger Posse, and welcome to Branded for July 30th, our season finale. I'm Ralph Judkins, joined tonight by Jen Bonomo. And South Texas Spine and Surgical Hospital welcomes you to tonight's episode of Branded. South Texas Spine, where innovation meets precision. They're proud to offer robot-assisted joint procedures using the cutting-edge Mako robotic system. Why choose Mako? Because it's smarter, safer, and more precise, customizing surgery to your unique anatomy for better outcomes and faster recovery. Experience the future of joint replacement right here at South Texas Spine and Surgical Hospital. Precision you can feel, innovation you can trust. Come on and chime in and let us know where you are in the comments section. And welcome back as a co-host, Jen Bonomo.
I am so excited. I want to hear you say that whole spiel again. Can you do that like 2 or 3 times in a row?
We could, perhaps at the start of the next quarter. Hopefully, we will get our first guest online here. While we're waiting, we had a football game.
We did have a football game.
And it was a good football game. We like good outcomes, especially when we win. We played the Northern Arizona Wranglers, which had a rougher season than us. They only came in with 2 wins. But you could certainly see our team was better than our record, and they were they were at their record.
Well, you definitely saw some chemistry coming together, and that was awesome, being able to see that. There was just so many high points and so many crazy points that went on. Like, who was it? Harper, God love him. They ripped his jersey off his body.
Right. That was some
love.
Unexpected. Literally. Yeah, Harper's willing to give the shirt off of his back in order to make a play. And in that case, he did. Haven't seen that very, very often. Jake Richards joining us, saying we were in the top 5 of teams all season, beat ourselves in the majority of the losses. Fair enough. We certainly didn't attain the goals that we wanted to, but we finished as a team, and we were in all of our games. We were not blown out. We were not thrown out. And we'd like to welcome to the stage Coach James Fuller. Coach, good evening. How are you doing? Don't have sound on you. Oh, okay. Maybe I think you're muted on your end, Coach, because I can't unmute you. It's the technical issues that get us.
You got me?
Yeah, we do. Good evening, Coach, and welcome to Branded. Thank you very much for joining us. Any thoughts summarizing the season before we get into some of the cooler stuff that I want to have you on to talk about?
No, it was a tough season, though, for everybody. I think, with the change, it just threw a wrench into the program for a lot of folks, So, disappointed in how the season went. The fans deserve to get a better product on the field, and that's what we plan to do moving forward. But, it was a tough situation for everybody, and I appreciate the fans hanging with us, ownership hanging with us. And I also appreciate the guys just fighting and continue to play hard the rest of the season.
How important was it? I mean, we were just talking about the most recent game with Northern Arizona. How important is it to go out on a win and to demonstrate clearly on the field? They were making unforced errors in the final game. We were not making errors. In fact, we were taking advantage of their mistakes. How important was that win at the end, especially against a team that we certainly expected to beat?
Well, it's important, anytime you step on the field, you're trying to win, so it was an important win to boost morale, to go out, on a good note. They were making a lot of mistakes, and we did capitalize on it. And that was one thing that, we really pushed hard all week. It doesn't matter. It's the last game of the year. You're still playing, to get good film, to put a product out there you can be proud of, and to play to a standard. So, I thought our guys did really, really well in that, and it showed in the scoreboard, and it showed in how we finished the year. I think we played well the last 4 games. You know, I thought we've you know, really started kind of playing a little bit better. You know, again, we had some issues, but you know, as far as what we were going through in week 8 compared to what we were going through these last 4 games, I thought we played a lot better.
But, you know, kudos to you for taking that challenge on and handling it so well. You know, a lot of people just get to see you on game night running around with your coaching staff and your support team and trainers, and they don't get to see the hard work that we get to see, where you're here till midnight, 1 o'clock, and, you know, looking to see and talking to players, and players coming in and players going out, and all the extras that that you and your staff take on in order for it to, you know, develop the way it did and come out with a kick butt season. So I want to recognize that factor, and I hope everybody sees that.
Right. Well, I tell the guys, you know, everybody wants to be a champion, but don't want to do championship stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everybody wants it, but what are you going to do to get it? And I always say that, you know, you got to sacrifice something. You know, you got to sacrifice something to be great. And, you know, my sacrifice during the season is sleep. You know, I don't sleep a lot, you know, so, you know, I always tell the guys, you know, I'll sleep when I'm dead, but, you know, right now, you know, I need to work. So I don't want to be outworked.
Yeah. But I just want to make sure that's recognized, because we see it, and we thank you for that. Absolutely.
That's a pretty intense thing to say, Coach. I'll sleep when I'm dead. So any tricks to share, any tips to share with people who want to live that kind of intensity? What are you using to stay sharp?
It's the drive, you know. You know, one time in my career I was out coached, and it stuck with me the whole time, you know, and I've always said I'll never be out coached again. So it's just kind of, if I'm sitting there and watching TV, I'm like, why am I not watching film? You know, so it's one of them type of things, you know.
Well, I'm going to tell you, we loved your passion, because watch parties and even watching the, you know, the games at home, all of us would get a big kick, because we knew when Coach Fuller was going to hit the field. We could see that, you know, that call or that situation or that player, and watching you step up for it, it was probably one of the, you know, best things that we would see, because we knew it was coming.
Yeah. Some of the guys know kind of how I roll. They kind of know the faces and the different expressions, you know, that make fun of me. So it's a thing. It's definitely a thing.
I'll tell you, Rob and every cameraman would catch it.
Right.
They're
always asking me, do I ever smile, you know? But I do smile.
Yes, you do. Usually it's around lunchtime, though, when the sponsors show up is the only time when that Smoky Mo's shows up.
Smoky Mo's.
That's what we know. There it is. We know that smile.
Yeah.
Chris Martinez had a comment saying everyone played great this season. The wide receivers did great adapting to the different quarterbacks. We had quite a few of those. And he says, I hope to see Collazo around for a while. Collazo, one of the young players brought into the roster. You want to talk about the benefit of going young and developing, as opposed to going out and hiring the biggest mercenaries you can get?
Yeah, well, you really want to get the younger guys, just because they're a little bit more coachable. You know, you always got to have vets. Now, don't get me wrong, you know, but you got to surround yourself with young guys who still have that drive to move up. You know, some guys are set in their ways who played for 5 or 6 years, know they're not going to, you know, make it to the next level. Sometimes they lose a little fire. Sometimes they lose a little bit of that passion. You know, not all of them, but some of them do. And you got to be careful on who you kind of implement into your team with a group of young guys. You know, Collazo, you know, has a high bar. You know, he could be a very, very good quarterback, you know, and I agree with what the question was, that, you know, we did do a good job of adapting to all the different quarterbacks. I would have liked to have it happen a little sooner, you know, but Collazo did a good job, and the receivers did a good job of adapting and and that's why we've already signed Collazo for next year. So
so there you go, Chris.
Yay!
Chris, there's your answer. Yes, you will certainly see Joaquin Collazo around for a while. Certainly next year in camp. Are we going to keep camp open like we did last year to our fans?
Yes. Camp will be open. It might not be a situation to where it's going to be every day. We might just have like back end days, depending on kind of what we have going on. I do camp a little bit differently. I like to bring in my skill guys first for a few days and really work on, them. That way I can cut the numbers down a little bit if somebody isn't performing well. And then I bring the bigs in. So then the coaching can go more to the run game and things like that. So you can kind of stagger it a little bit, is what
I heard you say something about signing. So is there anyone else you can tell us about that might be sticking around?
There's a few that be sticking around. We got Jalen Williams, a DN, he'll be back. Jack Daly, D lineman, will be back. Matt Burrell will be back. Austin Upshaw is another sign. We signed young Carl Reynolds back. There's a few more that I'm definitely missing. But most of the guys that I sign back are usually the 1 year, 2 year guys. And then I'll work on some of the older guys once we get a little bit later in August, when they can have the time to kind of get home and think about what they want to do next,
Yeah. No, totally understand. That's exciting. That's some good news to share.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And we're working to get Gibbons back too, of course.
In fact, we just had a question for Chris Martinez, Naquan or Gibbons to go back to match with. That is very, very good news. Wanted to talk a little strategy. The league announced just about 40 minutes ago that the rosters at this point in the season are locked.
Yeah.
Okay. For those who don't know, what is the postseason strategy? What does the locked rosters mean? How do you prepare for that? What is the implication?
Well, you got to know the lock date, because you got to make some decisions maybe 2 weeks into going into the lock date, because a lot of these guys are going to IR guys, put guys on the back shelf. So then once they go through the first round, they got a slew of guys. Once they go through the second round, they got a slew of guys, so that's what most teams do who are able to do that. But if you don't do that, then you got to have a good 1-2 combo at every position, or have enough guys locally that you can sign if you get into a bind, so because you don't want to be flying guys from across the country when you're trying to prepare for a game, especially if you're traveling. So hopefully, a lot of these teams have some guys on standby, but at the same time, I know some of them have already filled their tank with guys on IR, depending on which round they advance to and how far they go.
Gotcha.
And how important is it to have teams that are healthy at this point?
Well, that's everything right now, I mean, that's it. And that's why, I told the guys at the beginning of the year, you got to win early, so you can chill late, so you win early in the season, you're allowed that buffer to decide, hey, can I sit this guy? Can I not sit him? Can I play some young guys? But if you're struggling and you're still fighting to get in the playoffs, you need all hands on deck. So
maximum effort.
Right. So it's important to get off to a good start in the season. So at the end, you can decide on, have them options, I guess, to sit guys, play backups and things like that.
Monica Martin from Sports Coast to Coast says, does the lock affect the playoff teams' playoff rosters? I'm assuming that means, is there any exception to the lock for a critical need, or is the lock in the IFL absolute?
They have like kicker rule, quarterback rule, emergency quarterback rule. So them are two positions that they always have exemptions for. Okay, they don't want you going in and get a freak accident. Somebody, something happens to them, they get sick, and then you're stuck with not a backup quarterback, or you're stuck without a kicker. So that's some exceptions there. The other thing is you just got to have a good base of guys who are around you who are street free agents as well to kind of help fill that void if something comes up.
Jay Gaskin is asking, do you guys need a defensive lineman coach? Not sure in what capacity. How would, if someone was interested in contacting you to volunteer service as an intern or a paid coach, how would they go about doing that?
Well, they can email me, at james@sagunslingers.com. They can email me there. I'm not going to give my phone number right now on this.
No, I wouldn't expect that.
You need a break, coach.
Yeah, but we have a line that you can email in, and I get all the emails. So, Jay, I am looking. I'm always looking. We're always looking to get better. Even when we think we have the best, we're always looking to get better. So, if you got film, send it in, email me, and I'll take a look at your film and we'll go from there.
Well, I don't want to keep you too much longer, but I do have the big question. Obviously, this year, it wasn't your vision at the start. What is Coach Fuller's vision? What is the thought, the plan, what would you want to tell the fans that are watching? What does the Coach Fuller team, what's that going to look like next year with what you know right now? And if you get your way in every regard with everything, and we know that doesn't always happen, but what would be the ideal vision for next year?
The ideal vision is just to have, a young group of guys, and I'm not saying across the board, but a young group of guys, who want to grind each and every day and get better. The attention to detail has to be top priority. The standard, which is the standard, has to be a top priority. And then you got to have vets. And when I mean vets, when you have a vet who comes in and they have that V on their chest, they got to be a dude. They got to be a guy who is a performer, a guy who goes out each and every week. If you get enough of that going on, I think, you'll put out a good product. I think another thing that'll change, I think the grind that we have practice-wise, will translate into a better product on the field as well. We'll change some things in that aspect. I'd like to get some local coaches on board, to help out with things. So, if you're interested in being part of the Gunslingers coaching staff, please email me so we could set something up in the off season and kind of get you coached up. But I really want to be able to get a lot more Texas guys in town. Texas has great football, so I think we got to branch out and see more TX on our roster. And I've just been trying to work and figure out kind of with the Texas folks how many you can get, how many you can keep on, how many colleges we can reach out and touch. I think that's a big thing right now, is to try to get all that done, and then in turn it'll put out a better product come the spring.
Well, we definitely have had some luck with that this year. You've had a couple of Texas folks that you brought on that have just kicked butt.
Yeah,
they really have.
Yeah. Well, it's Texas. They got good football. We need
Absolutely.
to branch out and reach every college, every JUCO, every place we can, because there are some good ball players that just don't know they have an option to play.
Yeah, absolutely.
At a couple questions coming in for you, Coach, because you're always a hot ticket when you're on the show. Casio Angela Marie asking, what about Kali Rashad as far as a returning player? Can we even say anything at this point?
Kali is always welcome here at the Gunslingers. I would love to have him back. When I talk to him, he's a little cagey about, what he's going to do. But knowing Kali and knowing the drive he has, he will be back. You know, he's getting up there in age. He's played some years, so I think some of the health things are things that are kind of keeping us wondering if he's going to play or not. But knowing him and knowing his drive and knowing what kind of player he is and the determination, and I think he'll be back. I hope he will be back.
I was going to say, he had a heck of a run back on that last game. I thought he was down, but boy, he got up. So that was
he's
a good thing.
Dynamic player. He's a dynamic. He's a difference maker, and you need them difference makers, you know?
Absolutely.
Chris Martinez wanted to say to you, way to step in and up when we needed you most, Coach. Prayers toward your future success.
I appreciate that, Chris. Respect.
And Dustin Jackson, a big Rattler fan, saying, what's it like coaching Naquan Murray? Dude's got amazing hands.
I've coached Naquan for, I think, 3 or 4 years. 3 years, I think. Maybe 4. 4 years, and Naquan never ceases to amaze me. He's a great ball player. Has some of the best hands I've seen. You know, we have our ups and downs like most players do, but when it comes down to it, we both say we love each other and we keep it moving, you know. He's a very emotional guy. He plays with a chip on his shoulder. And, you know, you want them guys on your team. You just got to get them to harness their emotions in a positive way. And I think when he's playing at that level, he can't be stopped.
Mm-mm.
Any shout outs before we let you go? Because I didn't want to keep you too terribly long tonight. Any messages to fans, friends, players, coaches before we let you go?
I want to give a shout out to Don and Pam. You know, they've been nothing but good to me. James and Miss Steph, of course, April, doing her thing, Jordan, Morgan, you know, Jen, you know, the whole crew. You know, have been really good to me, and I appreciate that. I think we all work together. Don't forget Megan, and the training staff. But all you've been nothing but good to me. I think we all have a good relationship, and I think it shows. So, and my girl right there, double L. So yeah, it shows, you know, and I appreciate you guys stepping up and helping me out in every way possible.
Well, this has been our time. Thank you very much, Coach, for jumping on with us. Been our time with Coach James Fuller, and he's going to go get some rest and get us ready for next year. Thanks for being on, Coach.
Thank you. Guns up.
Thanks.
Guns up. Well, he's definitely in a mood and definitely a man with a plan.
Absolutely. Well, you do know he's not going to go rest. He's probably pulling film, looking at players because he's still here.
Yes.
He's still here. So if he's talking Texas, he's probably snooping around to see what's going on.
And he's definitely going to be watching the playoffs along with the rest of us. We'll take a break and come back with the second quarter. You are watching Branded, brought to you by South Texas Spine and Surgical Hospital. We'll be right back.
All right, team, huddle up. Just like in surgery, we need precision and teamwork. Trust me, just like on the field, if we stick to the playbook, we'll achieve excellence.
Coach, are you sure about this?
We've trained for this. We're experts. The San Antonio Gunslingers and South Texas Spine and Surgical Hospital and Outpatient Center, where precision meets performance.
Smoky Mo's Texas Barbecue. Skilled pitmasters smoking Lone Star favorites on site every day. Freshly made breakfast tacos, lunch. Smoky Mo's Texas Barbecue. Skilled pitmasters smoking Lone Star favorites on site every day. Freshly made breakfast tacos, lunch specials, family dinners, and Texas barbecue for any event. Smoky Mo's Barbecue. Skill, spice, and smoke. Make it the best neighborhood barbecue in Texas. Dine in or order pickup and delivery. Smoky Mo's Barbecue, where the pit is lit, y'all.
And welcome back to the second quarter of Branded. It's time to bring to the stage our co-owner, general manager, and all-around guy who is all around doing everything, James Steubing. Good evening. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. Doing good.
All right. Well, thank you for being on here. Wanted to, since this is our season finale show, kind of take a little bit of memory lane time to talk about memories of the themes. We had 8 home games, and each home game had a theme. And what themes from this year stick out for you? I mean, anything behind the scenes that fans didn't know, that at the last minute this happened or whatever, or you were particularly pleased with the execution? Go ahead.
Yeah, this season's been interesting. We've had some difficulties with the food vendor problem with the first game, and parking and different things that went on, and so overall, though, we always pull together and make it come together, and I think our team has done a great job with that this year. Favorite events for me is Military Appreciation Night. I love just the whole feel of that night and getting to honor the veterans for their sacrifices and hard work. Also the special jerseys the players wear. It just we stand out as just something really special that night. Same with Outlaw Night for that same reason. I love Superhero Night. I love the Retro Night, being able to go and pull up all these 80s clips and get reminded of what an awesome generation the 80s was in terms of movies and music that I've not seen repeated since in terms of quantity and awesome stuff that came out of that time. So just those are the kinds of nights that I really enjoyed.
I have to say, I love all the fans too, the feedback that we get from them on those special nights, because I think the play deck you did for Retro Night, the folks just loved it. If there wasn't one person who stopped us, there were 10, 20 of them that were just so excited about all the music.
Well, it was awesome to have Max Headroom in the arena. Came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it was good. Good times for sure.
Yeah, that was fun. Max Headroom, I think, was a 1 year or 1.5 year phenomenon, and predated everyone in every way possible. And then with COVID, we all became Max Headroom with Zoom meetings with the stutter and stammer and the continuous glitch.
Yeah.
So let's talk about next year. What can you say at this point? I know it's very, very early days. This season hasn't really ended as far as the league goes. What are the things that you can tell us, or we'd like to improve on, or like to reach out and grasp even more? You reach out even further for the brass ring.
Well, I know that we're going to get 1 or 2 new teams. One is a return from a rebranded Duke City Gladiators. The new owners are going to be bringing out their new team, and excited about that. And one other that I can't say anything about yet, but I think everybody's going to be excited about it. Just looking forward to. We're always working to keep what we've learned to perfect and keep that going, but also bring in new and exciting stuff. And so we'll be working in the off season to figure out how can we do that. Maybe it'll include a mascot this year. We talk about it every year, but I think maybe that's a strong possibility. And then, or 2 maybe. So that's pretty exciting for the kids. And just looking for ways to be more out in the community, look for ways to connect with the city, and look for ways to get the word out about this awesome team and get people interested in us.
Monica Martin from Sports Coast to Coast is asking a detailed question. Do you know if the Duke City team will be back in Albuquerque?
Yes, that area. I don't know if
And there we go. Max Headroom has struck us again here.
Oh, there he goes.
There you are. You're back. You're back. You were briefly frozen in response to the Albuquerque question.
know if it could be called Duke City or Albuquerque or what, but yes, they're coming back.
That's exciting.
Yes, very, very much so. They have an active social media account showing up on Twitter. So saying somewhat provocative things, just trying to increase their engagement. certainly would appreciate that. Anybody or anything or any message you'd like to put out to the league, to the fans before we let you go?
Just thank you for everybody that was faithful to come and be a part, for the energy, the excitement, the great comments on our socials that other people are new to the team are seeing, and they get an idea of the fan base we have. Thanks for just always being there for us and really supporting us. It's for you that we do it, and we just love the love we get from all the fans around us.
Well, I'll ask you two questions real quick. What is the biggest area of improvement? I guess the area that this year it's like, man, I wish we did better at.
Marketing is one. Obviously, figuring out how to connect, and back in 20 years ago, all you had to do was put an ad on TV and everybody would know about it. And today, everything is so segmented. A lot of people have gone to streaming instead of national, stations, type TV. We put a lot of ads on Facebook and Instagram, and still somehow a lot of people say I've never heard of you guys. So we'll keep working at that and perfecting it. But that's one of my big projects that I want to really get nailed down. The other one would be our school program. I had put out feelers mid-season about having a free ticket for every student, and of course it comes with a paid adult ticket. But the response was overwhelming by the school, different people at different levels within their schools wanting to make it available to their children. So we're gonna really get set up for that and be able to go to the schools and hand out the vouchers and meet the kids and get them excited about coming to games. And I think that'll also help with getting the word out about us.
So a big success, a surprising success. The one thing, sometimes the breaks actually come our way as opposed to having things break upon us. What is a standout success, either a surprise that happened this year? I stunned him. He froze again.
Am I back?
You are.
Well,
yes,
okay.
You're back.
Oh, I gave the answer, so no, I don't know. I don't really have an answer. I'd have to think on that for a minute. The season was tougher than normal. There was a lot of tough things that we got through. A lot of injuries. That we 3 Achilles tendons torn. It was kind of a grind at some point, especially not winning and seeing the playoff chances just go to nothing. So I'd have to think on what was a big breakout for me. But just really, overall, I'm just proud of our team for doing such a great job throughout.
That's fair.
Did you have any successes that you wanted to highlight? Yeah, sorry.
I mean,
because I have one that comes to mind.
Well, why don't you start us?
Okay, I will go ahead and start. I watch it because I need to for what I do. I watch all the games, and I watch what is going on. And some of them, they don't even have ads that they run, so you get to see everything that goes on in the stadium. And what goes on in the stadium, their games that I see compared to what goes on in our stadium, we are at a level above, especially amongst organizations that have been in this league for a while. They're still doing the same things, and it's kind of they'll literally run on the field, and somebody with a mic is going to be yelling at the crowd, doing a commercial effectively for the team. We're not doing that. We have games. We have kick for cash. I mean, I don't even want to talk during the kick for cash because that's so exciting. Go ahead, James.
I was going to say kick for cash was something that stood out. We had 2 games ago, we had 2 different people win, and then this last game, 3 different people win.
Yeah.
And that's the first time more than one person has won in a game. So that was really exciting. And I think the fans just love rooting for someone to win. And that was pretty cool.
No doubt. It's definitely a lot of fun. Actually, we had somebody stop us on the last game, so maybe you can answer this question. When you do the kick for cash and these people win, what's the next step? Are they walking out the door with cash, or is it one of those that it goes later? Because one of them asked, and I felt silly. I didn't know.
Because kick for check doesn't roll off the tongue
that big check just
particularly
doesn't
well.
work.
And he froze again, and he'll be back.
Yeah. Am I here?
Yes, you're back.
Yeah. I stand at the end zone, and when the winners come off, I get all their information, mailing address, and let them know that a check will be mailed to them in the next week or two. So.
Got it. We were trying to figure out if we had to hit them up so they were the ones buying nachos and stuff for the night.
Yeah.
Yes, they get an in-store credit at the merch table, that would be like very what? Lori Lerma says the shirt cannon.
I was going to say that too. That was a big improvement. The truck. Now the last two games, the battery, or there was some sort of mechanical problem with the truck, so we weren't able to roll it out. But what a beautiful truck, and having all the beautiful 6-shooters up there shooting it out. Now we get a lot of comments from the fans that we're shooting too high now, and not enough is getting into the lower levels or at the end zones or this. So we're always trying to adjust so that everybody feels like they get a shot at those shirts. But it's amazing how many people want those white T-shirts.
It is.
There's a fever for it.
It is.
And related to that, we had a program this year. If you want to talk about the virtual T-shirt cannon.
Yeah. So Ralph threw me an idea, and I liked it.
I stole it.
I passed it on. I asked Robert if he could do it. He got Randy to record the words, and he slapped together a pretty good little spot for 15 seconds that basically says if you can't be at the game, you still can try to win a T-shirt, and all they had to do was scan the QR and enter their information. And we've already had about 17 winners. I've got to go through the last 2 games and get those selected. But there was a contest for the live broadcast on the IFL network, and then a separate set for the KCWX broadcast. And so a lot of people got shirts, and there's a few more going to get some shirts, and it's pretty cool. Even if you're not in San Antonio.
I was going to say, is that a merch opportunity for next year? The white T-shirts.
Maybe.
Never know.
Diane Trevino Barnes checking in saying, I got a shirt and I was at the bottom.
Oh, cool.
At the lower deck, perhaps.
Yeah.
Not really sure. Speaking of the corrals, did we upgrade this year? Because at the last game, I saw what it looked like a fajita buffet snack bar.
Yeah, well, that was part of our. We were working with Black Tie Catering, and any suite owner had the opportunity to pre-arrange for fajitas, hamburgers, hot dogs, those kinds of things in their suite. So it was pretty cool. And then, go ahead.
No, please.
Yeah, so it was really nice to be able to offer that new this year.
Yeah, concessions was one of the differences this year, just based on what the Freeman does. And that Black Tie really stepped up, and those catering meals, I mean, people were really taking advantage of those opportunities. There was a lot of suites that offer those kind of things this year.
And I don't know what I see in the other stadiums, because we're not getting close-ups that we can see what's on the menu. But this is definitely a big step up from popcorn, nachos, beer, and soda.
For sure.
To have that was like, wow. I mean, this is
it's delicious food too. We also had an interesting visitor 2 games ago. I don't know if you talked about it last week with country music star Scotty McCreery being on the floor. That was pretty neat to have him at the game. And then afterwards, he was wearing our jersey during his performance next door at the Expo Center. Expo Hall.
Yep, they'll have to go back and see the commentary on that in last week's branded. But yes, we had pictures from that. Randy Carroll talked about that as well.
Right.
But yeah,
I did see that. I watched your going through the pictures. So my bad. I did see that.
so we're drawing local celebrities as they're coming through.
For sure.
And I guess we've kind of covered everything that if anything else, anyone you want to give a shout out to before we move on.
Just thank you, fans. Thanks for being involved. Thanks for supporting this show and being a regular viewer. We love you guys, and we're working really hard in the months ahead to prepare for an even better 2026.
All right, this has been one of our co-owners, James Steubing, and thank you very much for being on tonight. And have a good evening.
All right, you guys too. Thank you, guys.
All right. Well, that was cool.
That was cool.
That we had all of that and more details and more stuff in the future. He's spilling the beans. He goes along with the rest of the ownership to a team owners meeting next week. So maybe we'll hear more things through the IFL coming forward. Anything else you think we want to cover here in the second quarter? We ran a little long, but I think it was worth it.
I was going to say, these are the best when you get the true people that can answer the questions, right? Let's do it.
Don't want to let them go. We'll be back with, fewer people that can answer fewer questions when we return on Branded. It'll be the third quarter coming up.
We all need hot water. Some of us need more than others. So it's a good thing that State has a wide range of tough commercial-grade water heaters for your home. From standard models to high-efficiency and tankless models, we've got you covered, no matter where you live, what you do, or who started it. To install a State water heater in your home,
call John Wayne today or visit us at johnwayne.com.
Welcome to the Vegas!
Must be that time of the year again, where we work hard and we play hard and eat good pizza.
Hey gunslingers, come try Matanga's, voted best pizza in San Antonio. We are family and deeply invested in our community. After this game, come find a Matanga's near you. Guns up, slices up.
Welcome to South Texas Spine and Surgical Hospital and Outpatient Center. Step into our operating rooms, where highly skilled surgeons work hand in hand with specialized technicians. Our dedicated team has extensive experience and expertise in spine and surgical procedures. Our commitment to patient safety is unwavering. We understand that your well-being is at the heart of everything we do. South Texas Spine and Surgical Hospital and Outpatient Center, where expertise, longevity, and state-of-the-art technology come together for your health.
And welcome back to the third quarter of Branded, brought to you by South Texas Spine and Surgical Hospital. Last night was the farewell barbecue send-off for our players out at the Rackler Ranch. And you were out there and you got a chance to talk to some players. I got a chance to talk to some players.
Absolutely.
What did your players have to say?
Well, first off, let's talk about what Dawn and Pam and the James and Stephanie and April and Jordan and Morgan and the whole crew does. I mean, they send them off in style, you know, a great meal, opening up their home. It's really nice to be able to have that last moment, to be able to talk to everyone and talk to the players and the coaches. And actually they invited volunteers and sponsors and
Yes.
those that have kind of worked with us throughout the whole season.
Yeah, we had CJ from Texas AVL there, and he's not in the Gunslinger organization. He's the key guy who does all of the technical for us at the Freeman Coliseum in support of the live show and in support of the broadcast at times. But he's the key guy there. He was there.
And their families. I mean, I saw a couple of our ushers there, and I mean, it was really neat to see everybody that attended, because I know quite a few were invited. But just kind of like what James was saying, I don't think people really realize the behind the scenes and how many people make that happen, whether it be those at Freeman, that it's not that they're initially or, attached to the team per se, but they're there on those game nights and they're supporting the effort and supporting the fans and taking care of them. It's the caterers, it's the sponsors, it's, the suite holders and season ticket holders, and it's the operations, and it's you and TSP and, everybody else that really bring it together to make this happen. And I always, chuckle because you'll see April walking around with these headphones on, and it just seems like, hey, April's walking around with headphones on, but she's got like 5 people in her ear, talking to her, not realizing, that there's just so much that goes on. So for the owners to step up and just say thanks, it was just great. And the food was, amazing, and just being able to have that last moment. I have to admit, I get a little choked up because, it's a family, and having those folks there, especially the players and the coaches that you watched give it all, and then you don't get to see them for a while, and then you're not sure, but whatever their journey takes them, it's always a good thing, right? And you get to follow and you make new friends, and some become family, and now they're headed back home to, what their reality is above and beyond football.
Thank you for not saying the treasure was the friends we met along the way.
But it's true. It's so true. And, obviously you heard James mention a little bit about, and the coach mentioned a little bit about injuries and stuff. So, some of these people, you feel for them, and so to me, it's not fun.
Did you have any players share in their reaction to coming out to the ranch? Because some of those players were not there at the welcome barbecue at the opening of camp.
Right. Yes, because all they wanted to do was get on the basketball court. They were ready to go. It was like time to eat. It was really good to see you, Jen. And then off to the basketball court they went. They had their own. But I think it's one of those things that, we could easily get a sponsor or have a dinner somewhere, but to be able to bring everybody together in that type of environment at that pace. And we keep forgetting, and I don't want to discount too, the 6-shooters joined us too.
Oh, yes.
They were out there as well, and, watching everyone take all the pretty pictures, and the weather couldn't have been better.
Nice.
It was so nice out, and just being able to roam, and Dawn has a nice collection of vehicles that are just amazing to see. And so I don't know. To me, it's joy. It's the bittersweet. It's joyous, It's fun, but then it's really sad because today comes and everybody's headed back home, and
it's a lot quieter here in the building.
It really is, yeah.
Lori Lerma saying it was definitely a bittersweet night.
Yeah.
I did have a chance to talk to some of the players, and I always like talking to a veteran who's played with other teams and with rookies around them.
Yeah.
And I asked the veteran, in all of your years and everywhere you played, do owners do this? Is this routine? And they will say to a man, I have only known one player in 3 years doing this, say, there was something like this elsewhere. But for the most part, no.
Yeah.
It's okay. Last game's over. Turn in your gear, exit physical, exit interview with the coach, go home. Joshua Puga saying last night was amazing. First for my wife and I. We love our Gunslinger family. Thank you so much for your hospitality, Don Rackler, Jordan Steubing, April Steubing, Stephanie Rackler, Steubing, and Morgan Steubing as well. Yes. Thanks to all of the Steubing and Racklers out there. It's a wonderful night, and kind of bittersweet.
Yeah, it is. It's just sad. We always take our picture. We become the groupies. You got to have your pictures with your players, and you get your autographed football, and it is. It's pretty cool. It is. It's a good night. It's a fun night for sure.
And this is the final episode of Branded for this year. We didn't make it to 100 episodes. We will be pausing. I'm hoping to do a few shows intermittently when we have something to say. So keep watching your social media for an announced show, because we do have a show. It will be for specific reasons and announcements to be made that we want to know and go into greater detail. Would still like any feedback you have about the show, the direction it's going in. I don't get to talk much about the show other than to say it is an inside out. We are the insiders, and we want to present things to you, the fans, about the brand, about the team, about what there is here in San Antonio. I obviously believe very much in the program, in the team, and the product, as do you. And we'll come back with our fourth quarter here in just a moment, brought to you by South Texas Spine and Surgical Hospital. You're watching Branded. We'll be right back.
Dependability. It's expected by our customers, and it's demanded by me. I personally guarantee the certified techs we send to your home and the equipment we install are dependable. John Wayne's American Pride comfort systems are designed specifically for San Antonio's extreme heat and humidity and come with a lifetime warranty. For comfort you can depend on, call John Wayne today.
John Wayne Service Company is a proud sponsor of the San Antonio Gunslingers.
Younger, my mama said, gotta make your green, you'll be seeing red. If you ain't got no nobody.
And welcome back to the fourth quarter of Branded. We're really, really close to that credit roll at the end of the season. Want to take a quarter here to talk about the great sponsors that help make this possible. I absolutely want to thank Angie Kaufman for being the title sponsor of the show. You can see over
over my head,
over Jen's head, South Texas Spine and Surgical Hospital. I look forward to working with her further. We had a read here on some of the things that bringing in this Mako robot surgical assistance thing. I don't know, folks, if you understand. I mean, I don't know if you're at the point in your life where you need to have things replaced and adjusted in your body, where things are removed and how they're put back in. It has to work at the cellular level, and human beings can't see at the cellular level, but the robot can. The robot can install and place the appliance, the pieces that go in there, smallest amount of mesh, smallest amount of interface, so the fastest recovery time, the best outcome for the patients. And that's right here in San Antonio.
It is.
South Texas Spine and Surgical Hospital just does a lot of amazing things, and we are so glad to have them as a sponsor, not just of Branded, but of the facility here. They have the name on the facility, and any other things that you can think of that they're involved in for the Gunslingers.
Well, what are they not involved in, right? With being the sponsor that they are. We're extremely grateful for that. And, you know, they also work with us and our team doctors. So they're one-on-one with these players when they're injured. I've been able to, you know, be there with a couple of the players that had to have surgery, and just watching the class and the professionalism and the love and support that they give, not just to our players, but to others that are there, having their procedures for whatever that looks like. It's just mind blowing. And I have to admit, when I broke my foot, believe it or not, that's where
You broke a foot?
I did break a foot. This was probably
So you were another injury this year.
not
'cause,
this
man,
year.
we
Not
had a
this
lot of
year.
them. Oh, okay.
It wasn't this year.
Oh, okay.
It was years ago, a few years ago.
I don't remember that.
But I got to have that experience firsthand. This is even before they were even affiliated with the Gunslingers, and a lot of people don't know that. And that's actually part of how I met them and got to see and supported the effort, because when you're in that situation and you've got to go through it too, it's not fun. And the way they take care of you and walk you through and the follow-up, and it's amazing. It's amazing. So yes, South Texas Spine Surgical Hospital definitely is top notch for sure. And their teams are they just do it. So that's why you see them everywhere. On the practice field, on the field when we play, on the t-shirts, they're on jerseys, they're kind of everywhere.
And I got to think that would help with recruiting and wanting to play here, because players know they're going to be taken care of. They're not just going to some place where nobody knows who they are, and they're going to be taken care of by people that already know who they are and what their need is. South Texas Spine and Surgical Hospital, it certainly helped our players and former players with recovery, and that's been phenomenal.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, followed by, and I don't want to forget anyone, but I definitely want to make sure we acknowledge some of the folks. You know, you've got American Bank out there. You have a big shout out to all of our food sponsors.
The training table and food here at the players do not ever complain. I was just trying to think I don't want to list the names of all of them because I'm not going to know them all, but Teca Molina, obviously Matangas. We mentioned Smoky Moe's.
Yes.
We've had Outback. We've had Carrabba's.
The Outback. And I always like to make sure we stress it's the Outback Steakhouse on Days of Allah.
At the Days of Allah
Gabe
location.
and his team definitely stepped up and make sure that we have it. You have sideliners, and we even had our watch parties there.
Right.
So they were on to you. And then don't forget you had the Den.
Oh, out in Laverne, yes.
Yeah. So, and I know it was always fun because the guys and Raising Cane's. You had Raising Cane's. You had Angels, you know, that stepped up too and had some Mexican food. I mean, there was always an adventure, always something different. And it's kind of funny now because the guys have their favorites. And this year we even stepped it up a little bit more with our sponsors, and our football players and our staff got a card that had a discounted rate, so that our team could go and actually go back to these sponsors and have lunch on their own and try different foods and different things, which was good and bad. You know, I have to admit.
Okay.
It kind of threw me for a loop because then they would go try all these extravagant foods and they're like, Miss Jen, why can't we get this at lunch? And I was like, wait a minute, hold on. You know, you're one person. They're now feeding a heck of a lot more. But it was kind of fun to watch.
Retail, wholesale.
But it was kind of fun to watch, but it was also good for them to get out in the community. It gave them the opportunity to go visit, and definitely thank those sponsors for sure. Then you had Complete Care. You know, they step up, and they are not only just for our football team, but they take care of our trainers. And, you know, again, what people don't see behind the scenes, making sure that, you know, there's that great partnership where, you know, Macon can pick up the phone and call them and ask those questions and make sure that they're, you know, what Complete Care can do, they do. And then, you know, their representative, Lori Lerman, who's there, man, she's running around. We've reeled her in. So she's running around and assisting as well, you know, so we appreciate that. Sideliners came and stepped up and did their hamburger hamburger building game on the
Yes.
field, which is always fun to watch too.
Yes, that final bun flop at the end.
Oh, it's the best,
It's
right?
like the big oof. Surprised we've had no bruised ribs or anything like that with any of the contestants.
Absolutely.
It's reasonably well padded, folks. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then, there's sponsors at every level. You've got the behind the scenes where Big Red stepped in, and Big Red not only provided, the sodas and pop and that kind of stuff for folks, but they also made sure that, the electrolytes were here and keeping our guys hydrated and making sure that, what was needed, not only here, but when we traveled. So, kudos to them for stepping in and making sure that happened. You had Highland, and I'm going to tell you, that was probably one of the biggest highlights this year. The guys loved it. Highland would make a delivery, and they had different flavor milk and chocolate milk and lemonades. And exactly, we've got Ralph found it in the refrigerator.
See if I can get the camera to focus in there. Yes.
But they gave us and cottage cheese,
Yeah.
so a wide variety of stuff there, and creamer for the coffees. And, there was a delivery, and the water, let's be honest, and kept our guys hydrated there too. So, sometimes sponsorships aren't necessarily things you're going to see with different signage or different things. But you see the product that comes. So that's one less thing we have to worry about, when it comes to taking care of the teams. And then look at our 6-shooters. So, Complete Care stepped up and did some stuff for the 6-shooters. And then also House of Gold came in and just enhanced the beauty of our cheerleaders.
Oh, yes. the spray tan providers.
Absolutely. Main Event stepped in and took care of them as well. And so, again, sometimes the sponsorships aren't necessarily here on the field, but they're supporting our cheerleaders or our 6-shooters, and supporting our football players off the field in different capacities.
Yeah, Lori Lerman wanted to make sure that we gave a thank you out to Republic EMS as well.
Of course. And again, they're there to make sure when players if there's a challenge, and hopefully we never see that, but they are on site to make sure that they are there, they're taken care of, they're and they're going to be transported as needed, and they're on site. And I think we've turned them into like major fans.
Oh, well, why wouldn't you want to be
Not
there?
only do they want to be there, to do their job, but I think we've earned them as some fans. And every time I've gone down there, they've talked about somebody that's in the purchase tickets or sitting up in the seats that they mentioned it to. So, hey, these sponsors convert pretty fast. And then some of them too are on a different level. So it might just be that they came down and went to a suite, and next thing you know, they're purchasing a suite or they're purchasing group tickets. The sponsors that have stepped up and participated with some of these nonprofits that showed up, we had the transplant organization that came out with the kids, and the Guardians of the Children. And, there's just, it's endless. It just depends on what night you're there and who did it. But we're definitely grateful for each and every one of them. Verizon, another, they were a suite sponsor as well. And really, if you went around and looked at the majority of the suites, each one of them in their own way has done some sort of sponsorship or support for each of us. And then you've got, the partnership that we do with our TV station. And I always say it backwards, and I apologize.
KCWX?
Thank you.
Yeah.
I always do KW. And I don't know why I do that. Sorry, Erica and team. But, they stepped up and they participate. CJ does his thing. You've got TSP that comes into play and stuff. And then let's say thank you to the Drury that took care of our players, and all their needs there. And they made sure breakfast was covered, and they took care of their dinners. And I mean, it's endless. So all I can say is thank you to each and every one of you. And I know that comes not just from me, but comes from the whole organization. We truly appreciate everything that is done, for sure.
And we certainly would like all of you back next year for next year's campaign.
Absolutely.
And
it doesn't hurt.
If you know somebody whose business would like to be aligned with the message of God Family Football and a give back to the working people of San Antonio who seriously cannot afford or wouldn't really want to afford Spurs tickets or a trip to Dallas or a trip to Houston, this is affordable family, quality family entertainment. as Don mentioned last night, that's
Right.
really what this is about. The whole project is a give back. And if you want to connect to those young families, to those working families in San Antonio, contact Jen, and sponsorship opportunities are always out there. How would they go about doing that, Jen?
It's really easy. Jen at sagunslingers.com. That's probably the easiest. And then I also want to do a huge shout out, because I can't believe I totally forgot them, because we look at them all the time on the field. Dos Equis.
Ah, yes.
Those markers. We see those 2 big X's, each game. So, again, behind the scenes, you don't see a lot of what they do or how they do it. And we were really lucky to have a bar area down in the suite area this year.
And in the party zone
and
as well.
And in the party zone, yeah, exactly. So, Dos Equis was another one. And you got to drink a dose, and you lucky chance to get a bag full of goodies from them, just like we do with Complete Care as well. So yeah, we're really excited. And another thing too, I really want to make sure we stress, because it's not something that not the everyday person sees necessarily, but we have amazing volunteers in our merch booth.
Yes.
Weston has taken the lead on that and make sure that merchandise looks good, it's set up well. The team that's in there, they're just great. And again, I don't have everybody's name, because some of them I know and some of them I don't, but I know, Taylor and her mom, and Darcy and Darren and Weston and his kiddos. And it's just mind blowing, that effort and time that they put into that to make sure. And then you've got Jordan that takes the time to design all those amazing pieces of merchandise.
And in the years since the Racklers have owned the team, the amount of merchandise, I think he's probably close to or just under 50 unique designs. That's just for apparel.
Yeah.
And that's just shirts, not including the cowbells, not including all the other branded merchandise that went out there.
Yeah.
I look at the product offerings, and in our views of the crowd, more people are wearing merch. They're not wearing it's a logo and it's a colored shirt.
Right.
All kinds of different designs, all kinds of gunslingers apparel. Express yourself, find your own there. And when you go to see the booth where they're selling the merchandise, it's like a boutique.
Yeah.
Weston spends a lot of time setting that up to look like a retail space.
Oh, absolutely. It's mind blowing when you go over there, and the line is just, it never ends, and I just want to make sure that we definitely recognize the efforts and stuff that go into all of that. I will say a hot commodity this year, or at least that people were telling me, are those footballs, the themed footballs.
Oh, yes.
Not just the red, white, and blue, but man, the Army football and the Matangas Star Wars football, those were they were fun and everybody loved them. But I'm going to tell you, our players, God love them, seeing a different color ball and having to practice with that different color ball. I don't know that they were as excited as we were. But the look of them and the design of them, again, through the roof. And what a great piece that we had. So thank you, all sponsors. Thank you, all volunteers. Thank you to everyone that made that happen. So definitely.
I did also want to relate it to the balls, the ball and chain crew for us, Junior Cervantes and his entire team, they were the ones out there on the field. And I know one idea for a show, as soon as Jordan's designed next year's balls and we get the balls in, we're going to have a ball show where we're going to show off all of the designs for the next year, and the chain and ball crew will be in on that show. We actually talked about that at the barbecue. So that'll be something to look forward, coming to a branded episode in the near future.
And speaking of that, don't forget Eric and Fern that are running around and the crew.
Lori just chimed in.
Boy, Lori and I always seem to be on that same page. But yes, Eric and Fern, and them running and going and making sure the referees have their balls ready to go and when needed. I know that just sounded really bad.
No, it's important.
However,
it's important. Keep it professional. Keep it professional.
I was like, wait a minute, that wasn't good. But I think anybody who's seen them, they're all over the field. You know, the refs know exactly where they're at, where they're going, how they're doing it, and you know, grateful for those two. And then even Eric came up with this really cool, I don't know if you saw it, ball holder that he made, and it's a gunslinger ball holder.
I haven't seen that.
You haven't?
No.
Well, we're gonna have to show it to you afterwards.
You definitely need to see that. I mean, I'm thinking
I'm sure
like,
he can tell you,
like a baby sling or a pet carrier, you know, one of that. But if it's something custom for that,
yeah, he did. It's pretty cool. He came and gave me one, and I'm really excited about it.
So it's a holster, a magazine, something.
It's almost like the football holder, you know, that they have when the kicker's kicking.
So it's like
that. Yeah, It's really cool. It's made of wood. It's really neat. It has a gunslinger logo. Pretty snazzy.
Yeah, we need a picture of that. We definitely.
I'm sure Lori, I'm sure has one.
we definitely need a picture of that.
Yes, definitely so. Well, this has been fun. And thank you for doing this every Wednesday, and thank you for being the one that takes the lead on this.
Well, it's part of being the broadcaster, the announcer. They expect that you have to broadcast. I just started this last year. I didn't really have a lot of podcast experience. Sharon Kahn Burton says, "We love you, Jen," from Taylor.
I love it. Yeah, I love it. Taylor and Sharon are awesome. And they are part of the volunteers we were just talking about in the merch booth. I'm going to tell you, I would hire them any given day to sell merch for me. They can work at my retail store anytime. They are just so much fun. And they are out there pushing the merchandise like nobody's business. I love it.
So what he's saying is that we need a Jen-inspired line of products.
Oh, no, we don't need that. No.
You can talk to Jordan about designing something like that.
No.
I don't know, some makeup, earrings, something custom.
We're good. Why fix it if it's not broke? I'm gonna tell you, Jordan's creativity, it stands alone. It stands alone. He's amazing.
Sharon Converton says, "Okay."
She knows.
Quick question before we sign this one off. Is Brandon going to continue over the off season? We're not going to be doing weekly episodes. What I promise you, Monica, is if we have a block of something to say that we would want to say, then look out on social media. We will announce it, and we will be doing episodes probably from our respective homes via the magic of the internet, rather than coming in necessarily. Lori Lerma says hats and sweaters in her boutique.
All right, Lori.
So you might want to get that
so
together.
True, though.
Yeah,
that is Jen. But it's not about me. You know who else we need to recognize? We need to recognize the group that is in our party zone every game, dressed and ready to impress. And that is the crew they are red, white, and blue. They are the hats and the light up shoes and glow sticks and Smoking Guns crew that's in there.
The Smoking Guns podcast. Absolutely.
I mean, it's just, I have so much fun walking by there. Their energy is amazing. Their support is awesome. And their attire is what inspired Lori and I to put on the tutus, Bobby. I saw your comments. But yeah,
I skipped over that because I wasn't sure.
That's okay. That's okay. We dressed for retro night and we were ready to go. But I will tell you, their energy, I love going to see like what they're going to do. And on retro night, everybody was dressed in the 80s and they had all their gear. But that's a given every game. Yes. Exactly. Diane and Heidi, they're awesome. And they do. And thank you for the support there too. So I can ramble all day and I know we're going over our hour, so I think we should kill it.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you, Ralph. I do. I appreciate you. This is great.
Well, we will take our final closeout, and when we come back, we will wrap this up, our season finale for Branded for 2025, brought to you by South Texas Spine and Surgical Hospital. We'll be right back.
hey, what can I say? Comes with the job. 1 minute I'm making a one-hand catch on the sideline. Next minute it's lights out and I'm on the sideline. And that's why I like Complete Care, because they're fast, just like me. They have ultrasound, CAT scan, X-ray, and even on-site lab. So if you get sidelined, know where to go. Complete Care. Official sponsor of the San Antonio Gunslingers.
Welcome to South Texas Spine and Surgical Hospital, an outpatient center. Step into our operating rooms, where highly skilled surgeons work hand in hand with specialized technicians. Our dedicated team has extensive experience and expertise in spine and surgical procedures. Our commitment to patient safety is unwavering. We understand that your well-being is at the heart of everything we do. South Texas Spine and Surgical Hospital, an outpatient center where expertise, longevity, and state-of-the-art technology come together for your health.
And that will do it for Branded for July 30th, 2025. Last thought before we go, folks, the fans, without you, the show wouldn't be any fun to do because we'd be talking to ourselves and not with you. So thank you for an entire season worth of comments. Some a little more tongue-in-cheek than others, some a little more serious than they needed to be. Some I really wasn't sure that I wanted to put them on the screen, but you're there and it makes a show. And thank you for being a part of Branded for 2025. Before you go, for the very last time, if you have not subscribed to the Gunslingers channel, please do so. Throw us a like, a love, a smiley, a hug. We've had several reactions. Comment on the show after it posts in the main comment section. It certainly helps with the algorithm and gets the message out there. So for Jen Bonomo, this will do it for Branded. And as always, folks, keep your guns up. Good night, everybody.